some of whom are in plainclothes and the others who are also patrolling the town to ensure that peace prevails.
Right. Has it affected movement in Winneba?
It hasn't affected, but I think that some people might be in some fear seeing the heavy police presence at Winneba.
Right. Thank you very much. Richard Kojo Nyakon is a Central Regional Correspondent. Now, moving on with the news, the Electoral Commission says it is bent on following the regulations stated in the CI 75 on special voting, but says there is still a way the media can vote early.
The Deputy Chairman in charge of operations, Safo Kantanka, in an exclusive interview with Joy News said the law does not permit the EC to allow the media to take part in the special voting.
The law has categorically stated that only two categories of voters can apply for special voting, and these are the election officials and the security officials who are connected with the conduct of the election. Apart from that, I do not see where any group. First, there were other groups which were also catered for, but as at the moment, I'm not too sure, and I don't know, unless maybe we think further. But legally, there seems to be a barrier.
He urged the media to take a cue from the arrangement being made for some polling agents who will not be part of the special voting.
Get the list of your agents, send it to the district officer. He will give a letter to your agents to go very early to their polling stations and vote very early so that they can leave. That is not in any book or law, but I think looking at the exigencies of the situation, that is a way whereby they can also go out and vote early and go and perform their other things.
Meanwhile, printing of voters' register is still ongoing, according to the EC officials, and distribution will start today. Information reaching Joy News indicates the Eastern Region Biometric Voters Register is ready for distribution.
Now, ahead of the IEA presidential debate tomorrow, we sampled views from members of the public on whether or not these debates have achieved their desired impact. Yes, what the voter thinks.
Well, I think it is. It should influence to a very large extent most of us who will vote for. So I think that it's worth the time. Me, for one, I'm waiting for information. I'm waiting for someone to convince me in a certain area. Unfortunately, I didn't see the first round, so this is my chance to.
The debate will influence our voting pattern because basically the candidates are expected to give us what they can do. I mean, for Ghanaians, for maybe betterment of their lives. So I believe it will influence.
Okay, then say that in a sentence.
Yes, it has changed my voting because I know the person I was going to vote for, but based on the debates, now my mind has changed for different candidates. It elaborates, it tells us how each candidate have a policy for the nation, what they are going to do and what they can do for the people, for the benefit of the people.
For academic purposes, yes. But in terms of its relevance, if it would inform voter choices, I don't see it, because if it was relevant, then you would see the CPP candidate, Dr. Abu Sakara Foster, winning the elections. But they will tell you that, oh, he's in the wrong party. So if the IEA debate was relevant, it should move him from the third bottom to the first position in terms of the polls. But no, he's still stuck down there.
Okay, the IEA debate, it has its target audience. Looking at the caliber of people who listen to the IEA debate and those they try to influence. I think it can have an impact. It's about policies. It's not about, excuse me to say, those who don't know what the policies are about. So yes, the IA debate, it has actually affected the way I'm going to vote for whoever I want to vote for. I had a passion for that person, but seeing him and the way he articulated the issues, it gives me more confidence that a vote for the person is actually not a vote that have been thrown away.
It's very good because the way they have been doing it, we are learning who is performing better, and then the message that they have to, they are sharing it. The way you will talk to me, and then the way I will listen to you, and then the message that you have. If the message is good, I know that this message can change my life, and then there's something very good in it. Yeah, definitely it will change my mind, and maybe I will vote for you.
The Northern Regional Minister Moses Bukari Mabengba has made a cash donation of 10,000 Ghana cedis on behalf of government to the Tamale Teaching Hospital to augment the medical bills of victims of last Friday's motor accident on the Tamale-Bolga road, in which some 31 people died.
The Northern Regional Minister Moses Mabengba said the donation is part of government support for victims of the road accident. Chief Executive of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Dr. Ken Sego, received the donation on behalf of the victims and thanked government for its support.
The president, on hearing this, asked me, and I told him what you did, and he has asked me to present an amount of 100 million old Ghana cedis, or 10,000 Ghana cedis to you. We thank you very much for your support to our teaching hospital.
We are overwhelmed by this support and also your quick response when you heard about the accident. You contacted us and you actually visited us in less than 24 hours. We thank you for the support you've been giving us, the encouragement you've given us. We'd also like to thank His Excellency the President so much for also such a prompt response to this calamity that has befallen us in the northern region.
Last Friday, a Bolga-bound MAHAMA'S bus collided with a Benz bus that was returning from Bolga and claimed 31 lives and left many others injured. Meanwhile, 29 bodies have so far been identified by relatives of the deceased and have been handed over to the families by hospital authorities.
We had 31 deaths, and as at now, 29 have been identified, claimed. Only 2 are unidentified, and we are hoping that by the close of day or early this week, relatives of those deceased would also have come to claim.
Staying up north, as per Islamic law, special prayers are to be said today for the late Vice President Alhaji ALIU Mahama. Let's go over to the telephone lines and speak to our Northern Regional correspondent Hashmin Mohammed to give us an update. Hello, Hashmin.
Yeah, hello.
Did the prayers take place today?
Yes.
And take us through what went on.
Well, the Northern Regional Minister, Moses Bukari Mabengba, joined from the Imams of Tamale to offer some kind of special prayer for the soul of the late former Vice President Alhaji ALIU Mahama. It is a normal practice under Islam where a Muslim died 3 days after the burial of the dead Muslim. A special prayer is going to be offered on the Thursday, and then on the Sabbath day, another prayer will be done. And after this prayer, the family will now perform the funeral in line with the custom of the Bambas in Islam. That's where we call the founder funeral rites.
Right. What you're saying is per custom, some funeral rites will be performed after today.
Well, what they are doing for now is in line with the Islamic tradition. When a Muslim dies, 3 days after the death, after that person has died, a special prayer ceremony is to be held.
Right.
And where prayers will be offered for the deceased and then 7 days later on, another prayer will be done, and that will be all for in terms of the practice of most, in terms of what the Muslim practice preaches. But we also understand that after this Sabbath day, especially the final night, will also be performed in line with the Apostolic traditions of the He was about the royal family.
Right, and when will this one take place? The final funeral rites?
It will be done for the Sabbath day prayers. We are told it will be done on Thursday, and then for the final rites, that's where they are going to be in line with the Sabbath tradition. That one will be done after the general election.
After the general elections. Now, earlier we had information that today's prayer, which is already taking place, was supposed to have happened in Tamale, but it was moved to Yendi. Can you confirm this and perhaps tell us if you were able to gather reasons why the venue for the prayer today was changed?
Well, we're told on the day that he was buried that the Thursday prayers will be held in Yendi, but they have been to change. It's been simply because we were told that some of the invited dignitaries who are going to come from far and near would prefer to be in Tamale, which is very near to them.
Right. Thank you very much. We will call on you as and when we get updates on the rest of the rituals really that are yet to take place. Let's move on. And a day after the burial of her beloved father, Alhaji ALIU, MAHAMA'S only daughter speaks to Joy News in an exclusive interview in which she talks about her father's diagnosis as well as her impressions on the state's handling of his burial processes.
Culture and tradition dictates many more people continue to march into the private home of the former vice president whose mortal remains now rests here. Very close to the grave is the living room in which his widow Hajia Ramatu Mahama sits, obviously broken within but coming around as sympathizers console her. Salma Habib Mahama, an only daughter, explained to me the first time news of her father's death broke, she was picking up her children from school and had no idea how she managed to drive from Laboni to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in her state of shock and confusion, but it turned out false until the next 2 days.
Friday morning, when I went to his residence in Cantonments, and I was told we had to rush to Kolebu, and then when we went there, my dad, the doctor said my dad had died. There I saw my dad lying down with a smile on his face, and I couldn't believe it. So I asked the doctor to double check to see whether he had died, and the doctor said he did. So I had to take my mom home to console her. She was heartbroken. She was very heartbroken.
The cause of death is known by none except the doctors.
They said he had low blood, which I don't know what the significance was. So he was kind of sweating a lot and feeling dizzy. So they said the low blood, I don't know whether the low blood affected his heart. We're not giving details. I've never really seen my dad seriously sick like this. This is like a 2-week sickness that is a shock. Like I miss my dad so much, but I know he's in the hands of Allah.
Salma discounts claims that being on life support means one is as good as dead, as believed by a section of the public. She said her mother was once on life support, but regained consciousness and is now well and much stronger. Although she holds an MBA, she knows her father wished for her to have a PhD. Although he is not around to push her to get it, she hopes to get it soon. For her, the most important thing is an optimism that her father is in heaven and the necessary traditions will be observed accordingly.
When they are going to bury them, they don't allow women. So I saw the digging. Women don't normally go around to see it. But my other siblings were all crying because we'll never see our father again except on the day of judgment. After the burial, tomorrow they're going to have 3 days. And Sunday, they're going to have the 1 week, and after which we'll go back to Accra to wait for the 40 days. That will be somewhere in December, around ending of December. Thank His Excellency John Mahama, the Vice President, our father, ex-President John Kufuor, his wife, presidential candidate MPP, Vice Presidential candidate Baumia, and all the party members, everybody who make this possible. We say, may Almighty Allah bless them all.
All is said and done, and here lies the remains of a man everyone has described as generous and kind. The people of Ghana say, may his soul rest in peace, for the Lord giveth and taketh. For Joy News, Gifty Ando Apia.
Away from that, Alliance for Accountable Governance has asked the nation to pray for itself. Why? We'll find out after this. Midday brief. In Accra alone, there are over 3,000 master artisans and over 1,200 apprentices. The number may quadruple from across the country. Notwithstanding, the skilled artisan receives no help directly from government, though they pay taxes. Now, joining us by telephone to really discuss this matter is Richard SUMAH. He is with... Right, hello, Richard.
Yes, please, madam.
Really, how does this news come to you?
Please come again.
How does this come to you? The fact that we would have a whole lot of artisans in the near future who do not receive help from government at all.
Yeah. Well, we just finished our press conference this afternoon, and the whole objective is to appeal to the authorities for the establishment of this Artisans Empowerment Fund, because they constitute over 60% of the total population.
Right.
Yes. So meaning that they don't have access to credit. Some of them are already in business and they just need to expand their business or sometimes buy new equipment.
Right, Richard, what do you intend to do about this?
Yes, so we are having a peaceful walk come Thursday to go and present a petition to the president, appealing to him for the establishment of this Artisans Empowerment Fund. In as much as they are establishing a fund for youth entrepreneurship, so that the youth who have graduated from university who cannot get work to do, they want them to bring their business plans in and their plans to be funded.
Right.
The artisans who are already self-employed and they are already running their business, why we need to take them also through entrepreneurship training and inject a little bit into their businesses so that they can meet the current market demand and compete with any other businesses?
Right, Richard, if you already have a front and your problem is to be taken through entrepreneurial training, can't this front that you have formed, that has organized the press conference, that is going on a walk, provide this service for its members?
Well, I didn't get your question right, but the fund that we want to be established, presently there is no fund which is artisan by us or which is artisans empowerment oriented. So, this fund that we are appealing for, it is not a fund that we want it to be given to them in a form of grant. No. Money that will just be set aside. So that should any of them be in any need, like presently like the apprentices, my dear sister, the children who are in apprenticeship, some of them have graduated from apprenticeship for the past 1 year. And they cannot even pay their masters 150 Ghana cedi in order to graduate from apprenticeship. So automatically they have become slaves. They can't even get access to buy a sewing machine in order to even start their businesses. Unless you go through NYEP or you go through Leicester. But the Leicester program is just dealing with a chunk of the people. The vast majority of them are out there who are into the apprenticeship by themselves already.
Right, so why go to the government when you could actually go to perhaps Youth and Employment Ministry?
You see, the problem is bigger than a Ministry of Employment. This issue has been with us. It is about the informal sector. The informal sector has been with us over the past decade. And no government, no ministry has been able to look into the issue of apprenticeship or skilled labor holistically. So meaning that the only alternative arrangement we can make right now is to bring out the challenges into the public domain. So when the public is now aware that, look, so we have some of our brothers and sisters who cannot even pay their masters to graduate from apprenticeship, what are we going to do to them? And the whole issue is that in other countries, there is what we call the dual apprenticeship. Whilst you are doing the practical-based apprenticeship, you are also doing the theory-based compulsory twice in a week evening classes.
Right.
In collaboration with other vocational institutions, so that by the time you finish your mainstream apprenticeship, you also have theoretical knowledge.
Right.
So you can now move further and do part 1, part 2, and even to the diploma level. Then with those initiatives, we are building a vibrant technical workforce, not only skilled labor, a skilled labor which cannot meet the current market demand. Children are being trained in dressmaking for 6 months. For heaven's sake, who can sew a political suit after 6 months? He cannot. So this is why we are appealing to all these institutions that they should look into the issue of apprenticeship again. And they should not only focus on apprenticeship being provided by NYAP, LESDEP, CODVET, and the rest, but they should create a system whereby voluntarily everybody can enter into apprenticeship of this or her choice.
Right. Thank you very much, Richard, and we wish you all the best. Now, moving on with the news, a reporter with a sister station, ADOM FM, was on Monday night arrested by the Motor Traffic and Transport Unit of the Police Service. Now, Kofia's son was arrested at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and we were told he was arrested for obstructing police duty. Whatever that means, he is in the studio to speak on the matter. Hello, and how are you today?
I'm okay now.
What is it that you did that really attracted the tag obstructing police duty?
What happened was yesterday after we've closed from office, we got to Other Rise, just opposite, Other Rise. And then we saw a crowd and with the police car and then I think 4 policemen. And so actually they said they were arresting a driver who was parked unlawfully.
Right.
And the way they were handling the man, we thought it was a different thing initially before we got the original report by the police. And so I approached the commander, and then I introduced myself to him as well, and then I wanted to grant him an interview, but he declined granting the interview.
Right.
And so I asked of his name, he declined. His number, he declined. And so I tried picking the police car number so that I can follow the next day. And so when I was trying to pick up the police number, that is the car's number, the driver just held me and then he said I'm arrested. So they took me to the cells.
And did he tell you why you were being arrested?
When they arrested me initially, they didn't tell me anything until I got to the station. And then when I was there, even they didn't tell me anything. I got there, they told me to remove my shirt and then remove my trousers, my shoes, and then just...
You lose your valuables and then you were thrown into the cell.
Just get in there. So I was just asking the policeman what the charge is. And then, in fact, he gave it to me. I mean,
What do you mean by he gave it to you?
He blew my...
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did it. He blew my stomach, and then I fell to the ground.
Wait, I'm not sure if I understand. He blew my stomach. You mean he punched you?
He punched me very well. He gave it to me.
On your belly?
Yes. And so I fell to the ground, and then he was aggressive. He picked me, and then...
At the police station?
Yes.
In the glare of the other police officers?
Yes.
What did they do?
They didn't. I mean, they were saying that we journalists, we think we know everything, and in every situation we want to peep our nose into. And so he's going to actually teach me my rights from where I am as at that moment.
Now, he claimed you were arrested for whatever reason we are not too sure as it stands. Yeah. Were you charged formally?
No. They just put me in there until this morning around 9, I think 9:15, 9:30. They called me out. They said that one of the commanders want to see me. We went to the room. He asked the side of my story. I told him, and he was like,
So you've been reporting to the police?
No, not really. I'm not. They didn't tell me to come back.
You were not asked to come back. You were just given a punch for trying to write a police car number down because you wanted to have a story. And how do you feel about this?
Well, in fact, initially it's my first time being in cell, so I was shaking small. I feared because my editors, my colleagues were trying as much as they could to release me yesterday night, but to no avail. So I was a little bit shaken.
Right, and I'm sure you felt maltreated. I mean, for no reason, you're punched, you're thrown into cell, you spent a night in the cell, and I would really not want us to talk about this. We'll probably follow up of her. Right, thank you very much for joining us in the studio. Now, this may sound a bit weird, but a new scientific study has shown that there are 400 times more bacteria on your computer than in your washroom. Yes. Now, the bacteria on your computer, according to scientists, have arisen due to unknown human behavior, such as nose picking and eating while using the computer, which many of us do. The bacteria on your computer is said to be the leading cause of several skin infections and diseases that afflict you. Let's watch what it is on Midday Wellness.
Every day, scores of working-class Ghanaians use the computer to transact their daily business activities. Computers have become an important aspect of human life because they make work easier and faster, and it is impossible to imagine the 21st century without these important gadgets. Over the years, human activities have caused the computer to come under attack from bacteria that otherwise have rendered it very harmful to our health.
People go to offices, they are maybe taking a piece of sandwich, they are taking some fruits, they are eating and touching the board at the same time. So all these little food substances provide some sort of nourishment for the bacteria to grow.
But why is this so? Unlike the computer, the washrooms or most homes are kept clean on a daily basis and are usually wiped clean with disinfectant. Most of these disinfectants contain alcohol that kills the bacteria in the washroom. The question then is, how often do you keep your computers clean? For most people, a simple wipe with a cloth or handkerchief is all that suffices. Yet many continue to eat, drink and blow their nose next to their computers. These rather simple and harmless activities have led to the breeding of bacteria on computers. Bacteria are living organisms and therefore grow faster and multiply when they find food particles to live on. So once there is a particle of food, whether biscuit or splash drink on your computer, bacteria will grow and multiply there. The bacteria on computers is believed to have largely contributed to some skin rashes, nausea, headache and stomach upset we normally experience when at our various workplaces, and a simple wipe with a cloth will not make the bacteria go away.
People socially deal with clean surfaces, but as medical people, we look at how much disinfection the surface has. So once people look at it, the screen is shining, the keyboard is shining, I mean, they think it's clean enough. So they are not even compelled. The only time I see people cleaning their keyboard and their computer is when they see physical dust settle on them.
Surprisingly, very few Ghanaians are aware of this phenomena.
Yes, I use computer, and I know there's a dirt bacteria on it. And whenever it is dirty, I use rag or brush, the one that the painters use to paint. I use that one to clean the dirt from it.
But I know with different people using the computer, especially with the cafes, different people coming from all walks of life using the same machine, there might be.
Then I use mine to clean it when it's dirty, something like that.
Alex Mensah is a laboratory technician here in Accra, and he took us through the process to test for the availability of bacteria in computers.
We need to get a saline suspension of the swab, so that the microbes will be in shape. Often, if we don't keep them in a saline suspension, the shape gets distorted. As you prepare the slide to view.
expert says the best way to prevent bacteria from growing on computers is to stop eating while using your computer to prevent bacterial transmission into your mouth. They also identified hand washing as the best option since antibacterial wipes are less cost effective.
So your election headquarters is next with Araba Kumsin. It will come up shortly after the showbiz brief. But that's it from me. My name is Kimini Nyamani. Amano, thanks for watching.